Rebels, welcome to the next episode in our Let's Play series for Rival Kingdoms. Today we'll be taking a first look at the Rare Dragon Emberclaw, the Fire Dragon. He is a Rare Ancient, and as a dragon he's not put in a spell tower, but rather can sweep over the base doing some decent damage. His first spell, Ignite, is interesting. It does a very slow burn. Casting one of them is not too helpful, but multiple ones can really stack up. Second spell is able to summon some fire elementals. They have modest hit points and damage, and that will increase as you level them up. And when they die, they explode for a little extra damage. That's nice. Dragon's Blood is probably the most interesting of Emberclaw's spells. It's able to give back a little bit of health and reduce damage by 90% for about 5 seconds. So let's try to spend a little bit of Fire Primus and level him up a bit. Be nice to get him to level 6, but because dragons cost 50% more Primus than the other ancients, that's a little bit harder to do. We would get him to level 4 with that Dragon's Blood. That's good. I don't really want to spend the 5,000 Fire Primus just yet, so we'll stop there. Alright, we are in the middle of Stronghold 7. Things are coming along nicely. We've got our Blacksmith upgraded, and if we look at what troops we need to upgrade, the Warden, Mana Hunter, and Mauler. The Warden we use all the time. Mana Hunter, very small boost, as well as the Mauler. So I think we'll try to get our Warden upgraded as soon as we can. So we need a little bit more gold for that. We're in win streak 10, so this will probably not be an easy battle, but let's take a look at Emberclaw in action as an ancient. So at this level, he doesn't have any starting mana. We will have to collect some up front if we want to start using those spells. We're using a Mauler, Soldier, Paladin, and Warden for our troop composition. And the Living Flame event still has a little bit of time left, so that's the other troop that we see in our bar here. So we use our dragon to start sniping that free mana. And there's a Sky Watcher there, so we don't want to stay in that area too long. There's some more free buildings up top, and a whole lot less defenses, so that's going to be a better area to come into. Continue to take whatever mana they want to give us. And we're getting ready to deploy the troops here. Okay, and we're going to have 10 mana here in a second. And we'll start with the Ignites and see what they do. So casting just one doesn't do too much, but when you cast a second one, if you notice on the hover over, there's an area of effect, and basically all of the buildings in the area get ignited at once. So that's actually very handy. That's one of those spells where I think leveling it up is going to be a big improvement, as right now it's a pretty low damage and it's a very slow damage. And you also have a certain number of seconds in order to get the ignite going. So if you let the fire die down, you have to restart it from the beginning, really. So we've got some extra mana here as our troops are cleaning up. Stronghold should fall in a minute here. Wardens are going to be able to take that down. And it's just a nice warm glow that the village feels when it's being attacked by Emberclaw. I think graphically that looks pretty cool. Alright, so that's a look at his first Ignite spell. We may as well go ahead and see Emberclaw in action on the roost as well. You'll notice here compared to Forville, who has 355 hit points and about 50 target damage, his health is good, and his target damage is quite a bit faster. So Emberclaw can do a lot more damage when sweeping over the base. Forville's benefit, of course, is that he will freeze structures as he flies over them. So if you want more battlefield control, Forville is good to sweep around. If you really like your dragon to be doing damage on the battlefield, Emberclaw is a nice upgrade. His damage is similar to an equal level Viscaria. although she does have more hit points. Alright, so we're back on a new streak now. So these bases should be pretty easy, but they'll give us a good chance to look at some of the other spells. And we've got our Mana Hunter back in our composition to give us some extra mana and see those top level spells. They give us not only the free portal up top, but that catapult is pretty weakly defended as well. Stronghold doesn't have much of a defense right now either. It is hard to protect things at the smaller stronghold level though, so no worries. We're just doing a couple sweeps here to see what the sweep damage is. We've done 2 sweeps now over those 2 buildings. You can see that they're just about dead. I wonder if our 3rd sweep will get them or not. It's going to be very close if it doesn't. So let's just go and see. So there's some initial damage and then some extra fire damage over 3 seconds. So those are really on their last legs. Both of those buildings are going to die as soon as they get any damage on them. So let's try out that fire elemental. We get a pair of those. We just need a little damage on that remaining watchtower, so the Ignite will do that. And we'll do a flyover. And just for fun here, if you notice, we didn't actually deploy any troops. We've only used the spells on this base. Not something we would normally do, but it's fun to highlight the spells that way. So those fire elementals can be very handy at cleaning up buildings after you've deployed your army. Alright, we'll keep going, take a few more attacks with Emberclaw here. I definitely don't see too many people using him as an ancient. I see many people using him as a dragon. The Ignite spell, unless you spend a lot of Primus to level him up, it's just not doing enough damage and it's so slow. Elementals are okay, but your other ancients can do just as well with that. Solrick's Fire Elemental is much more powerful and you can deploy him anywhere. Alright, this is a bit more reasonable base. It's got some better defenses here. Still have a lot of free mana though, so we will happily take that. And we'll just experiment around with that Ignite a bit more. So from just 2 spells, we're doing about 120 points to 8 buildings or so. So overall it's 1,000 damage, but 120 points on a building by itself just isn't going to do too much. Alright, we'll drop in the other troops there. That splash damage from the fire tower and from the catapult is going to hurt a little bit. Let's try to take that out, and we do. And we'll just continue the Ignite over there just to see what that does. And we use the Dragon's Blood. It's a modest healing, but the 90% damage reduction is the key thing there. Very handy. Alright, so here's an advantage of being in an active kingdom. We just came in first place in our Axe League. We got 600 rings for every player in the kingdom and promoted to Claymore. And when you're a lower town hall level, like myself right now, that is really, really handy. So thank you to Touch Arcadians. Good to be a part of your kingdom. And as you help us improve, we will help with the kingdom donations and the kingdom raids and do our part to grow together. Good group of folks, very friendly, very active. We rotate raiders, and the Sentinel and a few other folks are really quite strong. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think about Emberclaw. Thanks for watching.